if you're in your 40s or older or even younger, generations past like the 60s or maybe before the 70s, you've probably been told or given the same advice for decades: work harder, budget better, save money. And many of you have done that. I know I have. You play by the rules at least as much as anyone reasonably can. But the frustration keeps building anyway. Groceries rise, bills don't stop, and it starts to feel like the ground underneath your finances is shifting faster than your ability to adapt or make money or afford it. And when people finally run out of patience, you're often told that you just need to try harder. And I just don't think trying harder is going to do anything if we don't address the true problems.
We're going to pay off debt. Because remember, we have $34 trillion in debt. We've got to pay it off. We're going to pay down debt. We're going to reduce the hell out of the debt. We're going to pay off debt. The $35 trillion in debt, we're going to pay it off. We're going to get it done fast, too. Pay off debt. Pay off a lot of the debt, and we have plenty of it. We'll start paying off debt. We want growth in our country. That's what's going to pay off our debt. We're going to give back a lot of money into the Treasury and pay down debt. We're going to work on national debt very strongly, by the way. We are going to grow to start paying down our debt. We have $35 trillion in national debt. We're all set to do it. We're going to make a lot of money. We're going to pay down debt. We're going to make so much money. We're going to pay off debt. We're going to pay off our debt. We're going to do things that you wouldn't believe. We're going to make our country so competitive.
Today, I want to take the personal frustration and put it where it belongs, in the design of the system, our government, and the effects of everyday life in a way most people don't connect their monthly bills, the national debt, and the interest we pay on it. That right there is our national debt, which is crazy. And actually, it's crazy just to see what's happened over the last decade or so compared to, since 1970, just in the last 10 years. We just crossed $40 trillion. And now the important point isn't the number is big. It's that the big is growing and growing, and the growth creates a second obligation: interest. The debt isn't just an accounting entry. When governments borrow, they pay for borrowing over and over through interest. So the story isn't only we owe money. The story is we owe money, we pay interest, and the interest keeps accumulating. And it's, for as much money as we bring in for taxes, it's not enough to even cover the government spending in a year. So that's on top of the $1 trillion we pay in interest. We're still building more of a deficit just by it not covering government costs. Listen, I need you to focus. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment. It's a free way to support the channel. God bless. So, it's, basically interest is like a hidden tax. When the government borrows, it must service that debt. That service includes interest costs, and the material emphasizes interest costs are rising quickly. Future estimate by 2028, interest could be more than 5 billion a day. Yeah, 5 billion a day. That's unbelievable. So when individuals and families are told to tighten their budgets, the system keeps spending massive amounts simply to manage prior borrowing. And that's a huge problem. That's why this starts to feel like a loop. Debt grows, interest grows with it, and more resources go towards servicing debt rather than improving our day-to-day life for everyone. Like nothing's getting fixed. These interest costs that are daily, they're comparable to like major federal priorities like Medicare, defense, Social Security, And at least the scale of attention, whether every comparison is interpreted the same way, the principles still stay the same. When interest becomes one of the last or the fastest spending lines, it squeezes everything. So what happens next politically? I mean, as of like March of 2026, our House basically rejected a resolution related to constitutional budget restraint, such as balanced budget amendment approach. I mean, it means they don't even care. And these are the same people that have been in there for years and years that always, anytime a bill comes up for term limits, they don't address it at all. Like they don't care. And this this is why constitutional changes face higher thresholds. The fact that the restraint measures aren't adopted when they're proposed signals something about priorities. It doesn't matter if you're left or right. I can't emphasize that it anymore. Like it doesn't matter what side you choose. There shouldn't be a side. We're all American people, and both sides of the government does not care about us. We the people are more aligned than what's put out there, and I think we need to all come together as community, as people, to address what these rich elites are doing and the people that in our government are doing instead of doing what they're supposed to do, which is working for us. We need stronger accountabilities, such as an idea that members who can't support balancing the budget shouldn't be eligible to run again. Term limits. I can't say it enough. Even if someone doesn't endorse every proposed like remedy, the underlying question remains unavoidable. Why is the restraint optional for the people who control the policy, while the cost lands on all of us? Like it's just not right, and it's affecting us more and more every day, especially over the last decade. And another reason why this topic feels so personal, I mean, and it should be for everyone, is like the value of our dollar since 1970, which the value has decreased 88%. That's insane. That's wild. That means $8.80 today is what a dollar is, was a dollar back in 1970. And obviously, we know that, you talk about federal minimum wage and everything like that. I mean, so you're talking about federal minimum wage is like a 7.25, and the value of a dollar is the dollar $8.80 is what a dollar was in 1970. That's pretty wild. That doesn't change the economy. Like it changes what life feels like, and we're feeling it every day. I know I am, and it's something that needs to be fixed for our children and our future. I'm worried about my daughter's future because when you're purchasing power drops, savings don't protect the way they used to. Budgets get tighter when everyone is doing everything right. Wages stress less, and essentials cost of living just keep rising. I haven't been on a vacation in over 3 years. Just can't afford to do it. It's just when the little things that happen, obviously me being a homeowner, come up and they're more expensive. I just can't afford to put money away to go on vacations anymore. And sometimes we need that to keep our sanity. And the problem isn't one-time borrowing; it's a repeated pattern. How much debt can we keep accumulating, and can be tied to different periods of policy and environments, including major events where borrowing escalated, such as like COVID. I mean, that was like the biggest transfer of wealth in human history or American history. But the key point isn't assessing the blame to one moment, it's understanding what happens after borrowing. Um, Debt doesn't vanish because people are struggling. Interest doesn't pause because families can't absorb more cost. Debt accumulates, interest comes due, and then the budget priorities shift to a service that is debt first before improvements can help the strain. Like, that's why we can't get, new roads or Medicare for all, or fix some of the things that we really need to fix in our country. Education, this is why it feels like betrayal. Not because people are ignorant of personal responsibility, but because personal responsibility can't override structural decisions. And along with that, purchasing power declines, which makes the impact more visible in our everyday lives. The deeper question isn't just how do I afford this? The deeper question is why are families asked to absorb the cost of choices that don't restrain the people making decisions? So if you're wondering why the cycle doesn't get fixed, it points to three interconnected reasons. Debt keeps growing. Interest costs rise with it. Restraint isn't enforced in any way that binds the people that we elect. Why isn't this being fixed? Why isn't this being addressed? Why are they saying that our Social Security is going to go bankrupt by 2032? Something we pay into every year, along with Medicaid, and it's not going to be available for people that are close to retirement or less. Yet me in 20 years, something that I'm paying into by law. You're not imagining this pressure. We're all feeling it. Some people are still in denial about it, fighting for their team or their side, but we need to get off of that. These guys aren't our friends. The system isn't doing what it's designed to do. They're not working for us. And then we need to demand responsibility for the people that we elect. And we need to take back our country. Share this with a friend that might feel the same way. I want to get more people talking. I want to get this out there, build a community, and we have to all start coming together. Comment, ask me questions. I will answer, or your feelings and what's going on. Subscribe. That's huge. Liking the episode, it helps the channel and helps my stuff get out in the algorithm. Anyways, guys, happy Sunday. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you very soon.